East African History Collaboration. Collaboration. This is where the African societies or individuals cooperated with the colonial powers net. Establishment of colonial rule. The societies that collaborated included Buganda, Toro and Ankle. Individuals included Semikakungulu Buganda, Laban Anonymosai, Dabongo Mumia, Wanga and Nuem Bagitanko. Reasons for collaboration. Some societies collaborated with the Europeans in order to get military support against their enemies, e.g., Toro and Buganda collaborated with the British to get weapons to fight Kabelga of Bunyoro. Some individuals collaborated because they wanted to get employment from the Europeans, e.g., Semikakungulu, Saropolo Kagwe, etc. Some societies collaborated because they had been hit by natural calamities and therefore could not stage any resistance against the whitemen, e.g., the Chaga and Mosa had been hit and weakened by famine, smallpox and rinderpest. Others looked at collaboration in line with civilization, modernity and Christianity. Therefore, they wanted their areas to be developed by the Europeans, e.g., Kabok community Sawan of Buganda. Some Africans were blindfolded by gifts and simple presents from Europeans, e.g., Bibles, clothes and rosaries, which forced them to collaborate. Some Africans collaborated due to the fear of the military strength of the colonial powers, i.e., the Europeans had the Maxim gun, yet Africans were at a disadvantage with spears, arrows, and stones. Due to missionary influence, some societies collaborated, e.g., Buganda, where many people were converted to Christianity. They ended up collaborating. Some individual collaborators, e.g., Semikakungulu and Saropolo Kagwa, were simply opportunities, i.e., they were after material gains from the Europeans, e.g., land titles like Sir. Some societies collaborated because their rivals and neighbors had resisted, e.g., once Bunyoro resisted, Toro and Buganda collaborated. Some societies collaborated out of prestige, e.g., Mudisa, one of Buganda, wanted to beat. East African History Collaboration. The nature of societies also led to collaboration, e.g., the Baganda were known to be friendly and hospitable, hence they collaborated with the British. The failure of resistance has also led to collaboration, e.g., when Mwanga was defeated by the British, the Baganda decided to collaborate. The direction or route taken by European invaders also determined African reaction, e.g., in the Uganda, visitors who entered from the south were warmly welcomed. Since missionaries came from Tanganyika in the south, the Baganda collaborated with them. Semikakungulu. Seme Awakalinzi Kakungulu was born in Kuki around 1870. He grew up as a page at the Kaboka S Palace in Buganda. With the growing influence of the missionaries at the Kaboka S court, Kakungulu found himself so close to the British. He was converted to Christianity and christened Seme. During the 1888-1890 religious wars, Kakungulu joined hands with Christians to topple Kayama and the Muslims who had taken control of Mengo, Buganda's capital. His political career began to take shape in 1890 when he decided to ally/collaborate with the British for personal gains. Why Kakungulu collaborated with the British. He participated in the 1888-1890 religious wars and began on the side of Protestants who emerged victorious, and this marked the beginning of his collaborating career. The growing influence of the missionaries also forced Kakungulu to collaborate. This was because he had been converted to Christianity, and this forced him to ally with the British. Kakungulu was an opportunist who expected material rewards from the British, e.g., old clothes and employment, land, etc. Because of his humble origin, Kakungulu wanted to earn himself fame and recognition from the Baganda and Uganda at large. Kakungulu was also convinced that the best way of fighting Buganda's enemies, e.g., Bunyoro, was to collaborate with the British. Kakungulu also had serious ambition for power and leadership, e.g., he at one time crowned himself Kai Bezinga of Busoga to satisfy his appetite for power. East African History Collaboration. Kakungulu was also interested in developing Buganda, and he believed that through collaboration with the British, Buganda would develop. The willingness of the British to tap the administrative potential in him also brought Kakungulu close to the British, hence his collaboration. Kakungulu also wanted to use his British connections to extend Buganda's influence to the neighbouring areas, e.g., Busoga, Bukedi, Budaka, etc. It was also part of the British indirect rule system to look for the brave Africans to use as tools in the extension of colonial rule, hence leading to Kakungulu's collaboration. Kakungulu also collaborated out of ignorance, i.e., he didn't know the intentions of the British. Due to Mwanga's harsh rule, Kakungulu was also forced to collaborate with the British, e.g., Mwanga was against the British, yet Kakungulu wanted to be their ally. All the above reforms earned Kakungulu a lot of admiration from the British, but this was short-lived. In 1901, his headquarters at Bidoku were attacked and taken over by the British, forcing Kakungulu to withdraw to Nabumoli. Kakangulu also suffered a series of demotions, e.g. was demoted from being the Kaboko Bukedi to county chief at Mbale. In 1923, Kakangulu was forced to retire on pension of £3,000, and this greatly demoralized and frustrated Kakangulu. Kakangulu later joined a religious sect called Abamalaki and opposed anything Western, e.g. medicine. In 1925, Kakangulu died a disappointed man and was buried in Mbale after failing to realize his dream of creating an empire for himself. Effects of Kakangulu's resistance. He helped the British to extend colonial rule to eastern Uganda, particularly in Busoga, Bujasu, Tiso, Bukedi and Kimem. He convinced the fellow Baganda to accept British rule as a way of securing military help against their traditional enemies, the Banyoro. Kakangulu built administrative posts in eastern Uganda, which the British later used as the East African History Collaboration. He also trained many local rulers in the area, which greatly helped in the extension of indirect rule. He set up medical centers wherever he established administrative posts like Budoka dispensary in Budoka. He planted many amvule and mango trees in eastern Uganda, especially along the roads. Kakangulu introduced the Kiganda model of administration in eastern Uganda. He divided these areas into counties and appointed Baganda agents and advisors there. Kakangulu also encouraged the growing of cash crops, e.g. he introduced cotton growing in Busoga and coffee in Mbale. He encouraged the extension of the Uganda Railway to eastern Uganda to collect cotton and coffee, and by 1930 it had reached Tororo. Kakangulu helped the British in the capture of Kaboka Mwenga and Omikoma Kabega in Lango on 4th April 1899. These two have given the British a lot of hard time because of resistances. Soropolo Kagwa. He was a Muganda from the Grasshopper in Senin clan, born around 1869. He trained as a page and served the Kaboka Mutisa and Mwenga Roman II escorts. Due to missionary influence, he converted to Protestantism and was christened Apollo. He started preaching Christianity and converted many people to Christianity. He was also very much influential in the construction of Namem Cathedral. When Mwenga ascended to power, Kagwa's religious involvements landed him into trouble, and he narrowly survived the Christian killings of the martyrs in 1886. He became influential at the Kaboka's court, and he rose to the post of Katikiro Prime Minister. He was rewarded with over 30 square miles of land for his excellent work as Katikiro. During the religious wars, he worked closely with Captain Frederick Lugard, who armed the Protestants against Catholics. He also played a key role in the signing of the Portalemwanga Agreement of 1893, which led to the declaration of a British protectorate over Uganda in 1894. He helped the British extend their influence in Uganda, e.g. he supported British campaigns, East African History Collaboration. He was one of the key players in the overthrow and deportation of Mwenga and Kaboga to Seychelles Island in 1899. He also helped the British to proclaim the young Dodi Chwa Roman II as the new Kaboka of Buganda. Kagwa became a regent of the new Kaboka and was involved in the signing of the 1900 Buganda Agreement. The agreement caused him problems because the Batoka accused him of selling Buganda's land to the British. He introduced judicial and financial reforms in Buganda and upheld the rights of the Lukiko. He campaigned for education and enrolled many boys and girls into mission schools. Kagwa also asked the colonial government to grant many scholarships to many promising sons of Buganda to go and study abroad. He encouraged cotton growing, mulching of bananas and application of fertilizers. In 1902, he visited England to attend the coronation of Sir Edward Roman VII and was knighted, so as a reward for his good work for the British. He advocated for the spraying against tsetse flies around the shores of Lake Victoria, and Sir Hesketh Bell did exactly that. Kagwa later lost his influence at the Kaboka's court because Dodi Chwa had grown up, and he also lost his popularity from the chiefs. He conflicted with the British due to his desire to protect African traditional institutions in Uganda. By this time, he had outlived his usefulness to the British and his own people. He angrily resigned in 1926 and died on 21st February 1927. Nuwa Mbagyusa of Ankole. Nuwa Mbagyusa was born in 1867. He lost all his parents at a tender age and was therefore left in the hands of his relatives. He later ran away from his relatives to go and live at Omughe Bente Roman for escort. As he grew up, he was taken to work as a page at the king's court at Mulojira. He didn't enjoy his stay there and soon ran back to Ente's palace. As a young man, he had the courage of entering the Omughe best bedroom and he got praises. East African History Collaboration. Mbagyusa became a fearless wrestler and was nicknamed Gitama, meaning the feared one. This soon earned him a lot of admiration from Omughe and he became his favourite page. He was made to join the trusted army unit of the Omughe, which helped him rise to prominence. When the British showed up in Ankole, he became crusader of their propaganda, and this further elevated him above other pages. In 1894, he signed a treaty of friendship and protection with the British on behalf of the entire 1-4. This made him a public figure in Ankle. He led the campaign to construct the road used by Sir Harry Johnston to move from Ankle to Tora. In 1900, he was made the Nganzi Prime Minister of Ankle by the British Commissioner Sir Harry Johnston. In 1901, he signed another treaty with the British who pledged to support Ankle against Bunyoro. Ankle was allowed to maintain self-government and was even awarded with additional territories like Buju, Emperor, Igara and Buziba. He encouraged education by building several schools in Ankle. He also built several churches which helped in the spread of Christianity.